This is Tim Bryce with my column entitled Creating Universal Systems. In this day and age of globalization, more and more information systems are crossing geographical boundaries. Because of this, serious consideration should be given to making systems universally applicable to any country. Some might think this is an impossible task, but it's actually quite easier than you might imagine. It just requires a little common sense and some planning. First, it is strongly suggested you adopt standards for systems development. System design methodologies are particularly useful, but consideration should also be given to the look and feel of your systems to assure uniformity in operation, no matter where you use it on the planet. We have found the Common User Access, the CUA standards developed by IBM, excellent for screen design. Beyond this, consideration should be given to all inputs and outputs, including forms, reports, messages, and help text. The biggest problem in making universal systems is that programmers tend to bury too many of the details of a system down in the program source code, which is not a good place to tinker around in. Instead, certain elements of the system should be placed in separate files, thereby making it convenient to translate. Consideration should be given to creating separate files for print maps. An output such as a report or printout can be decomposed into various sections. When a program is executed, one of the parameters should be the desired language, such as English, Spanish, German, French, Japanese, or whatever. Based on this, pertinent print maps are called from the print map file to assemble the requested output. Next, we have screen panels. This is similar to the print map file, whereby the sections of a screen can be decomposed into its various panels. As a program is executed, pertinent panels are called from the panel file to build the screen. Messages. Messages are too often buried in source code. Instead, they should be placed in a separate file for printing or display in a screen. Help text. Help text should also be maintained separately for easy retrieval based on the selected language. Separating maps, panels, messages, and help text from program source code makes it easy to translate to foreign languages. Further, it encourages developers to share and reuse resources, thereby contributing to integrated systems and expediting development. A serious consideration in the Far East is the double byte character set, or DBCS, which is used to accommodate Japanese and Chinese character alphabets with voluminous characters. To construct one such character, 2 bytes must be stored in a single byte, hence the name double byte character set. Fortunately, the technology has evolved and DBCS is implemented in most operating systems today. However, developers should be cognizant of this requirement, particularly as they are designing inputs, outputs, and files. Check with your hardware or operating system vendors for specifics. Better yet, check it out on the internet. Next, let's talk about input-output design. During design of the inputs and outputs, consideration should be given to the expression of certain types of data elements. For example, dates. How dates are to be expressed may vary from country to country. For example, November 13, 2014, 13 November 2014, 2014-11-13. You get the idea. How a date is presented to an end user is different than how it is physically stored. Time. This is similar to dates. Some people like to see AM, PM. Others like military time. For example, 14:30 representing 2:30 p.m. Regardless of how dates and times are to be physically presented to the user, standards should exist to express how dates are to be physically stored, such as year, month, day, hour, minute, second. Failure to do so caused the horrendous year 2000 problem years ago. Other things to consider are the time zone, representing your local time. Currency, what form of monetary value should be expressed? Dollars, yen, pounds, euro dollars. Measurements, accommodate different units of measures for weights, such as pounds versus grams. Distances, miles versus meters. And temperatures, Fahrenheit versus centigrade. Text. The Western world prefers viewing text horizontally from left to right, but as we go into the Eastern countries, they like to see text vertically, sometimes right to left. Many operating systems today provide the means to capture such settings. However, it might be necessary to establish a separate personal settings file for a particular information system. Attention should also be given to default settings, particularly at time of input. Further, where applicable, consider auto upshifting or downshifting text as needed. For example, most internet addresses such as a URL or email address, should be downshifted. The techniques mentioned above are simple and effective to implement. It is important that a translation strategy be considered as part of the system design. During design, your mantra should be know your audience, make it usable, and think global. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.